It's time for mindful mornings. Mindful mornings is my mindset routine. I use my mindset routine to set my mindset, which is how you view the world, how you interpret um, experiences, how you show up in every situation. I use it to set that for the day. And then when I record this, I do a recap of the previous day, or in this case, since I didn't do it on Sunday, the previous 2 days. Then I, including productivity and mindset, and then I set it for the day using a version of Hal Elrod's Savers. S is for silence, A, appreciation and affirmation, V, visualization, E, exercise, R, reading, S, scribe or writing. So, with that being said, let's get at it. So, today is a little different look because on Saturday, after I set my mindset, I decided to go on a hike at the Cedar Ridge Preserve. When I did the mindset routine, I said I was going to sit, sip tea, listen to the rain. Then it let up, and I did a self check and knew that if it let up and I wasn't prepared or wasn't at the trail and didn't get the opportunity, I would interpret that to mean that I chicken out, that I didn't really want to doing it. I didn't get my results because my intent wasn't right. So I went anyway. And in the middle of the run slash hike, meaning when I say middle, I was probably a mile and a half from the end of the trail and a mile and a quarter at least from getting home. It started raining, meaning it had already been raining a little, but starting raining to the extent of there was looked like a river in the middle of the trail. So my phone got wet and it's currently not working. So I'm recording via Zoom and I'll post that. So yesterday, or I'll focus on Saturday, so we'll keep this short. Saturday's mindset was really interesting because when I hit the trail starts near a paved surface. So on one side of the trail, there's brush and there's tall grasses, and then on the other side, there is paved. And so I was comfortable. Then it turns and it's still like an open area, and the trail is still pretty wide. And then it gets narrow, and or then it gets not narrow, but it's not as an open area. There's stuff on both sides, trees, brushes, things overhead, and I had to talk myself into continuing to move forward because of fear. Now, once I did that, when it did narrow, that didn't even register. It's like that fear happened. I addressed it. I'm doing this anyway, and then the next step, which was I was more closed in, didn't happen. And also, so that was good. And then also on the trail, there were times when I had to pay so much attention to my steps that I felt like I wasn't as in tune with this or present in the context or the surrounding, couldn't hear the birds, the water. And what I realized is I was focused on something too far off, meaning I wasn't listening for the water that was dripping on my jacket. I was listening for a water that sounded like it may be hitting a stream. Or I wasn't listening to the birds or the rustling of the bushes that was near me. I was listening for a bird in the distance that may be different. And so I wasn't present. And so once I realized that I could be just as present and at peace, even if I was focusing on where I was placing my steps and listening and in in the context and enjoying God's beauty, it was easier. Then when it got really um, a lot of rain, initially I was trying to avoid the puddles. I'm completely soaked at this point. Pants are soaked so much they're falling down. Luckily, I had on layers. Um, the jacket that I wore, it was really a windbreaker. It's soaked. Hair is soaked, and there's water that keeps dripping in my eye. And I'm still trying to avoid the puddles. And so When I realized that, I was like, what's the point? Why not just jump in puddles like you were little? You're already wet. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to die. And so the next ones, I just went through the middle. Then had to continually keep talking myself back into that. It is what it is. It's not sunny, but it's still enjoyable. It's not dry, but it's still enjoyable. Then it was, hey, I realized my hubby hadn't called to check on me. And so there was a moment where I was tempted to get in my feelings about that. But it was like, why? He was asleep. You're okay. And you can make it home. And it turns out, in fact, when I made it to my neighborhood, I still had enough energy and oomph to run the last maybe it was quarter to a half a mile home. So, but it was a great experience. Loved it. I bought trail shoes yesterday so I could do it again. And a lot of breakthroughs on mindset. Okay, setting it for today. I am appreciative of yesterday, Sunday, dinner at my mom's. We were outside in the front yard playing frisbee, jumping rope. I was aggravating JJ. I cut his toenails. So loved all of that. Had a great conversation with my dad, great conversation with my brother. And so I felt like I connected with my family yesterday. I was appreciative of the trail run and God's beauty and Him just talking to me. So I realized what was going on so that I could enjoy all of Him and all of the things He has created. As far as setting it for today, my affirmations, I do the version I'm committed to some specific characteristics by doing some specific task, whatever area, when. Because how you show up in one area, it overflows. So I am committed to being more courageous by asking for help before I have a plan or I've done any research on a new idea. I am committed to being more consistent by doing the very thing I said I didn't want to do when it is just because I said I didn't want to do it every time. All right, that's what I'm working on. I hope you have a mindset routine to set it for the day. A mindset reset, just reset it in the middle of the day. Mine tends to be music, reaching out to someone, or scripture. I have a couple of favorites, and then make sure you're doing a brain dump and you're checking in at the end of the day, checking in with your mindset. All right, good people, I'm out. I got to take care of the rest of this. Thanks for joining in.